How much more are you willing to pay in insurance premiums to properly fund the National Hazards Commission to ensure that there's basic cover in the event of a natural disaster? They basically pay for the first 300k if a volcano comes. A survey by the New Zealand Insurance Council found 50% of respondents were not prepared to pay even $200 extra a year. Taxes and levies already make up 40% of home insurance premiums. As the government reviews the natural disasters levy with climate change in mind, the Insurance Council is warning insurance still needs to be affordable. Chris Farfoy is the Chief Executive. Morning, Chris.
Morning, Ryan. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. So what is the point of you guys doing this survey to ask people whether they want the government charge to go up or not?
Oh, it's just to get an indication of what customers think. I think insurance premiums and other things too, people are finding things difficult, and we want to make sure that we're keeping insurance accessible and affordable. And it's pretty clear that people think if it were to go up a couple of $100 more in order to make sure we can support the Natural Hazards Commission, that would be a challenge for them. So I think, the government's got a decision to make as to how it supports the Natural Hazards Commission. And I think this is interesting thinking on behalf of consumers at the moment. I think, they're finding things difficult at the moment. So I think the government should take that into consideration when they do that.
Right. What about your side of it? I mean, if the government has to up their levy, then maybe the insurance companies could lower their premiums?
Yeah, well, as you said in your intro, Ryan, 40% of that premium is already levies and taxes. So that's quite a lot of impost on consumers from the government already. That goes to support the Natural Hazards Commission. It also goes to make sure that we can pay for the likes of fire and emergency. And obviously there's a need for that. What we're asking the government is to be mindful that when insurers are trying to kind of send risk signals through their prices also, that if a lot of it is government levy and taxes, it's very difficult to do that. So, people are finding things difficult, including insurance premiums. So we're asking the government to be mindful of that. And obviously we've asked consumers about what they think about that as well.
Does the fact that the government will cover, it's up to $300 or the first $300,000 if it's a volcano or an earthquake or a landslide or something like that, does the fact that the government covers that first 300k make the job of paying for insurance and reinsurance for the insurers cheaper?
Not really. We still have to make sure we've got reinsurance coverage for overcap claims. I think you probably saw in the last 2.5 years just how much of a challenge it can be when we have some of these large scale events, Ryan, that, insurers are out there making sure New Zealanders are getting back up on their feet. I think there was as close to 120,000 claims off the back of Auckland anniversary weekend and Cyclone Gabrielle, and close to $4 billion was paid out by a private insurer. So there's still a lot of cost to be met. Of course, the government's meeting the first $300,000 of that. So that's why it does have its insurance program through the Natural Hazards Commission. They've got to get the balance right by making sure that there's enough money in there to meet those claims for the first 300,000, but most of the claims after that would be a lot more over the cap.